Today we're going to talk about opposite quantities, and we're going to play integer game, and then at the end you're going to have an IXL practice about today's lesson. Okay, so today's objective is I can add positive integers by counting up, and I can subtract add negative integers by counting down. Okay, so we'll be using number line like we started yesterday. It will be very similar. So counting up and counting down on a number line. So counting up starting at 0 always corresponds to positive numbers. Counting down starting at 0 corresponds to negative numbers. So what I mean is, like, for example, the question number 1. When you start counting, like, it doesn't matter, up or down. So where do you need to begin when locating a number on a number line? So what do you think? So yesterday we practiced that, like locating a number on the number line. When you start like locating, the first step is you need to first find out what is the 0 on the number line, okay? And next thing, so what do you call the distance between a number and 0? So this is it today, yesterday's lesson. Does anybody remember? What do you call the distance between a number and 0? Yeah, no, what do we call like distance between any number with 0? Like it started with absolute value. Do you remember that? Yeah, so we call this absolute value. Let me put absolute, yes, value. And last thing, what is the relationship between 7 and negative 7? So 0 means when you add them up, yes, when you add up, it's going to be 0. Or the other relationship is both numbers are how many units far away from what number? 7 units far away from 0. So both 7 units far away from 0. Okay, so these are the thing that we talked about yesterday about the number line, and we'll be using this a lot. And if we go on the next slide, so now we're going to practice how to add number cards using a number line. Very first thing you need to do when you add numbers, it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, because we will be doing this like counting up and counting down. So the first card is 5. So you always start with locating the first card. So 5 is the first card. I'm going to cross out because I'm going to locate it now. So this is the 5. I'm going to locate it right here. So this is then step number 1. So when you then, in order to add next card to the previous card, so you have a negative 5. Because if it's a negative number, you need to count down, okay? And how many units? Because of the value is 5, so you're going to count down 5 units to the left because it's negative. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is my final destination. So you always start with starting point, which is the first card, and your destination is 0 right now because 5 and negative 5, like if you go with reasoning, it's yes, it is. And the next card, I'm going to go with different color. So to distinguish this, let me go with blue. And I have negative 4. This time, because of it's still negative number, I'm going to keep going backward. And because of it's a 4, I'm going to go 4 units backward. And I'm going to find out where I left. So I left at 0 because this is my final destination. So starting that destination, I'm going to keep start moving. So 4 steps to the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is my final destination again, but another final destination because this one isn't anymore. So now you have negative 4. So let's play the last card. Because if you have positive 8, how many units you need to go where?
4 to go back to 0.
But I have a card 8.
Yeah, and then
Yes, so you're gonna go like 8 steps. And let me use another color so to distinguish this, and I have a green. So my final destination was -4. I'm gonna start moving. Because if it's +8, I'm gonna move 8 units to the right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This is my final destination, and very final, I mean, because there is no card left. So I'm going to circle this to make it clear, okay? And then, so let's answer these questions. What is the final position of the number line, on the number line? And I just circled it, it's 4. So that means your result will be 4, okay? Yeah, you're right. I'm going a little bit slower, by the way. You're very fast. So what card or combination of cards would you need to get back to 0? So your final destination is 4. What another card do you need to make the final destination 0? So if you pay attention, the final destination is 4, and 4 is 4 units far away from 0. 4, but because if you're going backward, what kind of 4 do you need? -4. So perfect. So you need another card with -4. So let's say this is my card, okay? And I need -4. Thank you. So that's it. This is the integer game, and we're gonna play that. And so let's talk about additive inverse. Additive inverse. So how far is 7 from 0, and in which direction? No, 7 units, which direction? 7 units, which direction? -7. No, how far 7 from 0? Okay, which direction is 7 from 0? Positive, on the right side, which means, yeah, on the right side. Or you can say right side or on the positive side. Both of them are okay, okay? So it's gonna be, let me go with just right side, okay? And we talk about this. Okay, we're gonna talk about, the first one was, somebody told me it's a 7 unit from on the right side. Okay, 7 units, right. And what is the opposite of 7? -7. Wow, you guys are perfect. I mean, you remember from last class. Thank you, online students. I can see your responses too. And how far -7 from 0, and in which direction? -7 is how many units far away from 0, and which direction? Left. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's 7 units left. Okay, and what does this tell us about sum of 7 and it's -7? What do you think? If you add, you have, let's say you have 2 cards, one of them is 7, and you want to add these 2 cards together. What do you think the result will be? Okay, yes. Because whenever you add like 2 numbers, like one is another's opposite, so the result always will be 0, right? And do you think this holds true for sum of any number and its opposite? Like 15 plus -15, 20 plus -20. Is it true? Okay, so always when you add like number with its opposite, the result will be always 0, okay? Number and its opposite equals 0. So, and the last thing, what we are gonna do is, it's an integer game. So this is how we play now. I'm gonna ask you to pick 2 numbers from positive side and negative side. And by using a number line, we're gonna find out the result. So tell me one number on the left side. 8. So And tell me one number on the negative side. 12. Okay, I'm going to go on the next slide and I'm going to write it down. So the first number was 8, second number was negative 12, right? Okay, so this is how you add these two numbers. You need to find the first number on the number line. It's 8 right here. And your second number is negative 12. How many steps you need to go which direction? Left, how many steps?
Negative 4.
Pay attention to your second number. 12 steps. So 12 steps, you're going to go back from that point. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. So your final, you're confused? Okay, no, thank you so much. Sometimes we do mistakes too. Okay, so next thing. Tell me two numbers on the number card and for positive number, and tell me another number on the negative cards. So 12 and on the negative number? Negative 1? Yeah, let's go with that. And so you said 12 and you said negative 1. Okay, so you need to locate the first number. It's a 12. It's right here. And second number is negative 1, means how many steps I need to go where? 1 step left. Yes. So 1 step left, your final destination will be your result. So which is, the result is 11. Okay? Okay, let's see. And so last thing, before I ask you to practice C3, let's conclude the lesson. So add a positive number to a number by counting up from that number and add a negative number to that number by counting down from that number. So every time when you see a positive number, you always count up. Every time when you see a negative number, you always count down from the starting point, okay? And an integer plus its opposite always will be what? 0. So whenever you add a number with its opposite, the result is always 0. This is another second point, like important part of this lesson. So the last thing is the opposite of a number is called additive inverse. This is the review from last class. So we call it additive inverse. This is another name for opposite of number. So it's the same thing because two numbers sums is 0. Okay. So what I'm going to ask you now, I'm going to stop recording the Zoom session. So I will ask you to go now IXL, find a C3. It's the same thing from yesterday. Try to get 70 or above, and then we can finish this. Okay.